Hello, this is not John Green, and this is Crash Course World History. And today we are going to discuss, wait for it, beer.
I'm sure you can visualize a few bottles of Bud Light chilling in an ice bucket at a lit party, or possibly in a drunk man's hand, or a health teacher drilling in the famous phrase into your brain: beer is bad.
But if you've been reading the recent A History of the World in Six Glasses, like we here at Crash Course, you might have a different view of beer, one that emphasizes pleasure, wealth, and happiness, which ultimately leads to a so-called civilization world in a fertile crescent during 4300 BCE.
Beer demonstrates the complex interplay of different civilizations and the interconnectedness of the world cultures. Beer definitely contributed to the creation of the modern world we live in now. Beer was a highly fashionable drink amongst Mesopotamians. Not to mention, it was the subject of conflicting medical claims and unseen by far-reaching geopolitical significance.
So let's start off with the basics. What is beer? For those of you who do not know yet, beer is an alcoholic drink made from yeast fermented malt flavored with hop. Delicious? You decide for yourself. Or not. Now let's take it back to the discovery of this earthy, musty substance. Beer is the world's oldest and most widely consumed alcohol drink.
In fact, it's the third most popular drink overall after water and tea. In Mesopotamia, early evidence of beer is a 3,000-year-old poem honoring Ninkasi, the patron goddess of brewing, which contains the oldest surviving beer recipe describing the production of beer from barley via bread.
How is it used? Believe it or not, beer was not always considered a party drink for the sole purpose of getting buzzed. It also had a more direct link to health, for both the Mesopotamians and Egyptians used it medicinally. A cuneiform tablet from the Sumerian city of Nippur, dated to around 2100 BCE, contains a pharmacopoeia, or a list of medical recipes based on beer. Page 38, quote from A History of the World in Six Glasses, How it affected politics. Officially, these goods were offerings to the gods, but in practice they were compulsory taxes that were consumed by the temple bureaucracy, or traded for other goods and services. This elaborate system gave the temple direct control over much of the economy.
Years and years later, you will find beer being sold at any corner of your local grocery store, gas station, or outlet. Last year, Americans drank nearly 6.3 billion gallons, and that's just America. So why is beer consumed in such quantities? If the substance is not abused, it brings a few benefits into the world.
1. Beer is a big part of culture in many countries. 2. Alcohol is known to have a number of health benefits, and beer especially has added nutrients to contribute to one's overall wellness. 3. Xanthohumol, a substance in beer, might guard brain cells from cell damage, preventing or slowing down diseases associated with brain degeneration, according to real researchers.
Thought bubble. Even one of the greatest conquerors of all time drank fermented dairy products with low levels of alcohol compared to beer.
Mr. Nacho Green, Nacho Green! What do you want this time? How was beer used culturally? Stop interrupting me, I'm getting there. Oh, it's time for the open letter? But let's see what's in the secret compartment first. A cup and 2 straws. Beer was a symbol of peace,
To this day, beer remains to symbolize friendship
unpretentiousness,
and equality.
by simply toasting to a friend about health, and hence by saying, get a beer.
Unlike food, beverages can be genuinely shared. When several people drink beer from the same vessel, they are all consuming the same liquid. When cutting up a piece of meat, in contrast, some parts are usually deemed to be more desirable than others. As a result, sharing a drink with someone is a universal symbol of hospitality and friendship. It signals that the person is offering the drink can be trusted by demonstrating that it is not poisoned or otherwise unsuitable for consumption.
Now to rhetorical devices. Like said before, beer is a sign of wealth, happiness, and pleasure according to Tom Standage. Basically, he's informing the young youth, aka you guys, beer can be positively consumed if not abused.
Standage uses exaggeration to persuade beer was important to the world, by including heroic stories that ancient Egyptians believed to be true, such as beer saving the race of humanity from an evil goddess, Hathor, who wanted to kill off all humans.
Standage also uses symbolism such as two figures drinking beer through straws from a large pottery jar on pages to allow readers to visualize the importance beer had on the globalization and interconnectedness of the world, how beer shaped our modern world, was and is used for cultural and medical uses.
Standish appeals to his audience in the book by idealizing beer. You can see this in chapter 1 when it says, whether in Stone Age villages, Mesopotamian banquet halls, or modern pubs and bars, beer has brought people together since the dawn of civilization. He symbolizes beer as something civilized and something that connects all the people.
Rhetorical devices. The spread of beer caused all the civilizations in the area to have a similar meaning. They utilized beer in religious ceremonies, giving it a great significance as most considered it a gift from the gods. Within the book, Standage makes a point of using proverbs from ancient Egyptians, which helps us better understand their view on beer and just how much it really impacted their lives. An example of this is, the mouth of a perfectly contented man is filled with beer. Egyptian proverb, 2200 BCE. He sprinkles those proverbs throughout the book as evidence to back up his claims. Another quote is, although it is no longer customary to offer visitors a straw through which to drink from a communal vat of beer, today tea or coffee may be offered from a shared pot, or a glass of wine or spirits from a shared bottle. And when drinking alcohol in a social setting, the clinking of glasses symbolically reunites the glasses into a single vessel of shared liquid. These are traditions with very ancient origins. This quote is another example of how throughout the chapter he makes a link between beer and friendship or hospitality and sharing, something that makes people happy, aka beer. He does this by using words like customary and civilized, making it seem that if you didn't do these things, you were uncivilized because that's just how much beer impacted both work life, political significance, i.e. using it as currency, and their social life.